Good morning, everybody. This is KPFA and KPFB in Berkeley and KFCF in Fresno. My name is Bonnie Simmons. Hope you're all doing well. And Tori Amos is here with me this morning. Hi, welcome to KPFA.
Hi, Bonnie.
Welcome to Berkeley, California.
God, it sounds so good hearing that again. Eh?
This is really embarrassing.
Hearing that
I got
record.
so involved in it, sitting here with my headphones on. I completely forgot that we were here to do an interview and was ready to just go right through
It
the
just
entire
reminds
record.
me, when I was a little girl, every Saturday I had to go to the conservatory, so this would be one of those days, and I would put Sgt. Pepper's on any chance I got when it first came out. And I would have my mom make this really yummy peanut butter and jelly. She'd always pack a little lunch for me when I went. And I'd want to take my record with me, and they wouldn't let me take Sgt. Pepper's with my Bach books and stuff. Be like, no, I want to go and show this. I want to go show this to my teachers. And my mother let me take it once, and my teacher said, get this crap out of here.
So now that's so? And they really made the separation
Totally.
so that pop music was not a factor in any way?
No way. This was unworthy music. And I just remember it was difficult because a couple of the theory teachers, this guy named Dr. Sprinkle and Dr. Weiser.
Oh, come on, Dr. Sprinkle.
Yeah, but these two guys were kind of cool. They had, hair down to their waists and beards down to their hearts, touching their intestines almost. And they had to follow a brief, and you could see behind their eyes that they were chomping at the bit because that they were going home, exposing themselves to other music.
That must have been tough.
But they had to follow a very specific brief on what they could teach and what they would allow kids to share in the class. It was incredible. They cut all the kids off from their own culture of the time. I was 5 years old in 1968, but I was accepted into the school. So the students I was studying with were 17. And they were showing me this whole other world, but it was all outside in the hallways and hidden because you couldn't speak about it.
And so you left there, did you not?
I was excused.
You agreed to disagree?
When I was 11, yeah, they said, goodbye. Yeah.
And your reaction to that, were you...
It was interesting because, you see, I was responding to my father's reaction, which was shock, horror. Oh, my God, my daughter failed, who I wanted to be a concert pianist. I'd never be where I am today without my father. I adore a part of him, but I abhor another part of him, which is he wanted me to have a doctorate in music by the time I was 16. That was his drive, really. Incredibly driven. But I wanted to write my own music, especially what was going on. John Lennon was my biggest teacher, mentor. And so when I saw my father's pain from me getting rejected at the school, I kind of took that on for a while.
Yeah, I bet. But then again, he encouraged you to go and play piano bars or lounges or whatever it was that you did as a teenager?
Well, what happened was around 13, I started to have a real wandering eye for boys. I actually had that when I was 5.
No, you did?
Yeah.
What a surprise.
Very wandering. And a few of my friends got pregnant. This was a very fun time then. 70s, Zeppelin concerts, the whole thing.
I'm afraid I remember them quite well.
Yeah. And my dad figured that I was liking weed a little too much under the bridge and looking at the boys too much. So it wasn't anymore concert pianist or pop musician. It was pop musician or pregnant 14-year-old. So when it came down to those choices, he decided to say, look, what do you want to do with your music? I give in. And I said, I want to play my own. He goes, okay, well, then be good at it. So he supported me.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, did he have to chaperone you?
Oh, yeah.
And were these places where you played other people's songs, where that you did cover stuff, or?
This was these were like piano bars. My first job was 1976, and that was a wonderful time because the gay movement was at its height,
Sure.
and they were all in the piano bar singing around the piano with you, and this wonderful camaraderie, and it was just such a party time.
Mm-hmm.
It was this wonderful...
It was quite a party time here in San Francisco, too.
Oh, boy, I would have liked that. But my father, it was kind of great because since they were gay bars, I didn't have to worry about any sexual handling of things. Everything was, I just got to be a girl and play my songs and learn my craft. And the guys would actually come and sit down and talk to my father before they'd come and sit down and talk to me. You know, a minister sitting there really kind of, they thought he was just wearing an outfit. So yeah.
And eye-opening for your father. A perfect situation.
What an eye-opener. He really has grown. You know, he's the coolest 65-year-old minister I know. So I really give it to him. He's grown. All these experiences have really opened him up.
Now, when did you decide that you would head out? Did you decide you would make your own music, head out to L.A.? What happened?
I was sending out tapes since I was 13. Then I started doing my own demos, and I sent them out for 7.5 years. And the answer kept coming back, this girl and her piano thing is not what we're looking for, and it's never going to happen. You know, Carole King is dead. And I said, well, last I heard she wasn't dead, and I'm not she. You know, let's respect her. But just because you're a woman with 3 orifices and you play the piano doesn't mean that you don't have a different style and maybe a different voice for a different time. Hello?
Now, everyone would like to sign a woman who plays piano.
Isn't that funny?
Which is sort of the same thing in a strange way, but...
So... I listened to them. After 7.5 years, I said, well, maybe they're right. I think I've got it all wrong here. And I just knew I had to get out of the East Coast. I was going, I got to get to California. I know I've got to get to California. And so I left. It was hard for me to leave my parents because they didn't want me to go. And I was torn, but I left. I just got on a plane and never went back. I became a rock chick. Didn't take me long.
And did becoming a rock chick save you, or?
Totally saved me. It was, you know, it was one of those things where 21 years of going to church 4 times a week, it can make you a little nutty. So it was kind of a release, just putting on those plastic thigh-high boots. I'll tell you, honey, it's a new religion. It just felt really good. And I got in a band with the drummer now who's in Guns N' Roses, Matt Sorum. And the band was much better than the record because the band had broken up before the record got made, and the record got pretty diluted. It became a pop rock thing. And I agreed to the whole thing, you know. I just said, whatever you want. At this point, it was approval, anything to get approval.
Did you like playing in a band format? Do you like having a live band around you and performing that way? Which is something am I incorrect or correct here? You haven't done this for a while, right?
No, not a long, long time. No, I don't miss it, to be honest. I really had that experience, and I don't feel like, as a piano player, it's not freeform enough. As a singer, it was great because I could get up and do stuff and wiggle. But now, being that I've worked so much on my piano style and I put so much into my playing, It's not just about I write songs and my instrument is a backdrop. Like a lot of people kind of do that now. You don't have a lot of musicians that are songwriters. You have a lot of poets that are writing songs that use music as a color. Whereas, I've been playing 28 and a half years, so.
Yeah, I saw you at the first Bimbo show.
Oh, right.
It seemed to me that the piano was part of you up there. Seems like you are one being when you are playing the piano. Is that what it's like?
Yeah, we're pretty inseparable. I just love that girl. There's a Eddie Van Halen and I were talking about this recently because he's somebody that sees the instrument very much like I do, which is it tells us what to play. And if you're able to interpret what it's saying to you, you're a bit of a translator, really. Mm-hmm. So the instrument itself is offering something. It's not like, okay, babe, spread. You're going to play what I want you to play. And, I see a lot of wannabe musicians or musicians that weren't taught love for their instrument. They kind of use it like a whip on a horse, go, run. It's very strange to me. There's no respect, like you go to it and you kind of bow to it and say, what are we going to give each other tonight, and then share with our audience.
I don't play an instrument. We were talking about this earlier, but to me, as a disc jockey who has been lucky enough to be able to choose her own music over the years, in some instances, not all, I approach records that same way, I think, because they are... I think maybe being a disc jockey is a little bit more frivolous than this. It sounds kind of heavy-handed, but they are the instrument that I have to work with. So,
right,
in a certain sense, it's a little bit like that, I think.
You must get so off when you hear a great record because they're
unbelievable. And I just got chills when you said that. Isn't it ridiculous? Yeah, because it not only really moves me, but sometimes I have the opportunity to play it for other people who have not heard it. So I get to be a tiny bit involved in the process of this getting out to people. And it is well worth it.
Well, it's funny because I think DJs really have to get chills when they hear a great record today because there's so few. It is so hard to make a great record. We were talking about this yesterday in the car, listening to some old records, how today, it's so corporate when you go in to make a record. And I'm not going to mention names, but some of my contemporaries, I know when they're going in to make a record, there's no magic. I mean, I'll walk in that studio and you're burning time, you're burning so much money, you're trying to get the magic on tape. And it's like, but hang on a minute, if we were all just like hanging out and cooking and making food, and that's why I made Under the Pink at a house in Taos, an old hacienda, and brought everybody there to just hang out. And we'd be making food, jambalaya in the kitchen.
Sure.
George Porter Jr., who was the bass player on the record, originally from the Meters and one of the great bass players still alive.
And probably great jambalaya makers.
Oh, great jambalaya maker.
I just recently learned to make jambalaya. Well, at least my version of jambalaya. I've been experimenting a little bit with it, and...
Well, it was a fantastic moment to have George cooking in the kitchen, and we'd be eating and we'd look at each other and say, let's go cut. And that's how we cut past the mission. It was just,
I think a lot of people are attempting to get themselves in that situation now where they will rent a house and put a studio in the house so that they can be their own clock.
Yeah, and capture life.
I don't know how people do that. I'm not sure if the audience is aware of how expensive studios are, but there are bands who go into the studio and write while they're in the studio. and I think, now, how can they possibly do their best work this way? Maybe people can. Maybe it's the have to do your work, the term paper the night before. Maybe there are certain people that need that pressure or something, but I don't know how people can do that. I think that some of the hip hop stuff, I really appreciated the fact that they were doing it in a different way. You know, hip hop records, when they were making them, when they had nothing, they didn't have studios to go into, and they were just, you know, using beats off of other records. I can kind of dig it because of that. Should we play something from your latest record?
Yeah.
And I'd love to ask you to play something live for us also.
I'd love to.
Great. We're going to play Past the Mission.
Oh, this is the jambalaya. We made the jambalaya and cut this.
Oh, perfect.
This is it. This is the one.
Now, does he use andouille sausage in it? Are you a meat eater?
Do you know?
It's hard not to eat andouille.
Honey, I eat meat. I'm a vegetarian who eats meat.
Not something we knew that we were going to play this morning, but boy, a beautiful song. Actually, one of my favorites from Tori's most recent record. Would you like to play something live?
Yeah, I don't know who's coming yet, but she's going to show up.
Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock as the day began. Silently closing her bedroom door, leaving a note that she hoped would say more. She goes downstairs to the kitchen, clutching her handkerchief, silently turning the back door key. Stepping outside, she is free. We gave most of our lives, sacrificed most of our lives. We gave her everything money could buy. She's leaving home. After she lived here so long, for so many years, Father snores as his wife gets into her dressing gown, finding the note that was lying there, standing alone at the top of the stairs. She breaks down and cries to her husband, "Daddy, our baby's gone." How could she treat us so thoughtlessly? How could she do this to me? We gave most of our lives, sacrificed most of our lives. We gave her everything money could buy. She's leaving home. After she lived here so long, for so many years. Friday morning at 9 o'clock, she is far away, rushing to keep the appointment she made, meeting the man from the motorcar trade. We gave her most of our lives, sacrificed most of our lives. We gave her everything money could buy. She's leaving home after she lived here so long, for so many years. She's leaving home. Bye, bye.
That was great. Thank you so much. Well, can we talk into another song? Oh boy. So the piano, she must be with you today, huh?
She's with me. When I play piano for the first time, it's like you're kind of like two girls in the bathroom for the first time showing each other your lipstick. You go, here's my color, and here's my color, and you start... I'm playing like my favorite songs. These are the ones that made me want to show my heart. This is my favorite that Joni ever did.
Just before our love got lost, you said, I am as constant as a northern star. And I said, constantly in the darkness, was that if you want me, I'll be in the bar. On the back of a cartoon coaster, in the blue TV screen light, I drew a map of Canada, oh, Canada, with your face sketched on it twice. You're in my blood like holy wine, tea so bitter, bitter and so sweet. Well, I could drink a case of you, darling, and I would still be on my feet. I would still be on my feet. Ooh, I am a lonely painter. I live in a box of pains. I'm frightened by the devil, and I'm drawn to those who ain't afraid. I remember that time you told me love is touching souls. Surely you touched mine, 'cause part of you pours out on me in these lines from time to time. My blood, my holy wine, tears so bitter, bitter and so sweet. Well, I could drink a kiss of you, darling, and I would still be on my feet. I would still be on my feet. I met a woman, she had a mouth like yours. She knew your devils and your deeds, and she said, "Good, stay with him, but be prepared to bleed." Well, my blood, my holy wine, tears so bitter, bitter and so sweet. Well, I could drink a kiss of you, darling, and I would still be on my feet. I would still be on my feet. Well, I could drink a kiss of you, darling, and still be on my feet. I would still be on my feet.
Oh, that was just beautiful. Well, I don't want to push or anything, but, if you're having a good time and you want to play something else, it's okay with us.
Oh, well, okay. I'll do one more.
Oh, boy.
One more for the girls in the back. Okay, this is something I put on a B-side. She almost got on a record, but something happened at the last minute in mixing. It was like she was going to go on, and it was all decided, and I don't know. She went out for pizza and never came back, and you know how that happens. Anyway, I kind of love this girl. She's called Honey.
Little dust never stir me down. You like my shoes, I kept them on. Sometimes I can hold my tongue, sometimes not. When you just skip to loo, my darling, and you know what you're doing, so don't even. You just still, you're still my honey now. You just still, you're still my honey. And I think I could leave your world if she was the better girl. So when we died, I tried to bribe the undertaker, 'cause I'm not sure what you're doing or the reasons. You just still, you're still my honey now. You just still, you're still my honey. I hear You just too used to money now. Don't bother coming down. Made a friend of the western sky. Oh, don't bother coming down. You always like your baby's tight. Done one last time. Love to watch those cowboys ride. But cowboys now and cowgirls ride on the Indian side. And you know what you're doing, so I don't even. You just do, you're still money now. You just do, you're still money. Hey, you just do, you're still money now. You just do, you're still money.
You got to go back to the pizza parlor, get that girl, and rope her in and put her out on something. That was great, too.
Thanks, Bunny.
Thank you so much. Are you already thinking and writing for your next record?
Yeah, a little bit.
It seems to me that you, do you get tired of doing the old things? Is it old friends for you, your older songs? Do you ever feel like you're moving on and...
No, each night, it's funny because I change the set list every night. But since I play alone, I have free form. I don't have to worry about.
You don't have to call audibles so the band knows what song
No,
is
I don't
coming
have
next.
I don't have to let them know anything. And if I want to add 16 bars in the middle of it, I can. If I want to change the phrasing, I can. And it keeps it really fresh for me. I think that's how come I've done 127 shows since February. But the reason I can do that is because each night is a different journey. Before I walk on stage, I make the set list 30 minutes before I go on, and then I tune into what I want to work on in myself. So say I'm feeling like I'm 13 and that all those guys that thought I was ugly, that's my mood that night. Well, all the songs take on a different feeling than if I'm feeling like I want to make them crawl, which is a whole different approach. And I do all different approaches each night. And the girls, they like change clothes and they wear different shoes. And they go, tonight, Silent All These Years has some snake pants on. So it just changes the whole approach. And the songs keep showing me different sides. They're kind of like paintings. They kind of show me a different dimension to themselves.
You have a lot more touring to do this time through?
Yeah, till December.
Wow, you are out there. The other world record holders are, well, one of the world record holders for number of dates in a year is also in the studio here, but that's pretty impressive. You need to go, don't you? I mean, I'm happy to keep you here.
Yeah, we kind of have
You
to
really do have
get
to.
ready for this show.
I
yeah.
sure appreciate you coming by. It's been great. You can come and be a disc jockey or just hang out anytime you'd like.
Thanks, Bonnie.